situation with the latest now coming in from Pakistan, the situation on the ground is only worsening. Republic TV has now basically accessed videos which essentially go on to indicate how the forces have basically opened fire on the public. The situation has only been intensifying with the war between the government as well as the political parties there only increasing. We'll try and go across to my colleague Gursimran in a short while from now to understand the videos that have been accessed by Republic TV. What does this essentially mean for the Imran Khan-led government and the war that has basically erupted? Gursimran, just break it down for our viewers. These images that have been accessed by Republic TV clearly go on to show how the nation is now on the edge, and certainly Prime Minister Imran Khan finds it extremely difficult to maneuver in the current situation.
Decision he has taken under the pressure of ISI and the DGI-SPR that it has now shown its repercussions, and it is becoming difficult for Pakistan to handle the situation. The TLP and the TTP, they have gone against the Pakistan forces, and that's why the violent protests are taking place. And but we are picking up from our sources in Pakistan that these violent protests have entered the 6th day and they are going out of control. Even in the Punjab region, where Tehreek-e-Labad Pakistan is the third major political party, widespread protests are taking place in each and every part of the city. And even in parts of Lahore, there are widespread violent protests that are taking place. And the situation is somewhat that Pakistan is on the brink of a civil war, because we have seen that how TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, have also extended their support to Tehreek-e-Labad Pakistan. So the situation is really grim, and Pakistan is on the brink of the civil war. We have seen that widespread protests were taking place even for the last 3 or 4 months, but the decision that was taken by Imran Khan government under the pressure of ISI and DGI-SPR that to ban Tehreek-e-Labad Pakistan, which was once projected by the Pakistan as their by the Pakistan's government, Imran Khan government, as their big win, that they managed to get this armed group into the mainstream. But now, after banning them, they have started showing repercussion, and that is now haunting the Imran Khan government, and it is becoming really difficult for the Imran Khan to handle the situation which is rising here. We have seen the video how the police has opened fire on Tehreek-e-Labad Pakistan supporters, and even we have seen how supporters were saying that they are telling that we are terrorists, but they are terrorists. They have opened fire on our peaceful protests. So this is exactly what is happening in Pakistan, and yes, situation is really grim. We have seen that French embassy has already issued an advisory for their French nationals to come back to their country, because they know that Pakistan, which cannot ensure the security of their own people, how come they will ensure the security of the French people in Pakistan? Yes, Shavan.
Well, thank you very much, Gursimran, for getting us these exclusive images, which clearly go on to indicate what's the ground situation in Lahore at this point in time. Let me also bring in Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, who's joining us on this broadcast. Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, I'm not sure if you've been able to see the images right now on the ground, because those images only go on to show how Imran Khan-led government is finding it very difficult to control the situation, especially the fundamentalists in Pakistan, who are now essentially making the situation even worse for Imran Khan.
Absolutely, Shawan, I agree with you. The situation is on the edge. It is becoming difficult for the Pakistan government. In fact, I would say their own strategies, their own organizations have started biting them back. What has happened for last 3 days with the TLP, organization which has been created by them and is absolutely showing them their own true face and biting them. What has happened in Lahore today, I think the situation is really nearing the civil war situation, because it is reflected in other cities and the towns of Pakistan too. But the TLP itself comes from this Punjab region, and what is happening in Lahore, it has got a corresponding bear on the entire fiber of the nation. And it has got also fiber structural effect on Pakistan Army. So if you look at it from a very comprehensive and conclusive analytical point of view, this is going to have a major bearing on the security situation within Pakistan. In fact, if you take a toll of the injuries, fatalities, the way they have made the Punjab police hostage to the situation, and the aggressiveness and the hardcore content of the TLP, I think situation is definitely going out of control out of the Punjab government and Pakistan Army.
Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, I also want you to bring the focus on a TLP. Now, the pressure suddenly that TLP is being able to, exert on Imran Khan, and the response that has essentially come in from Imran Khan-led government, it does appear that he's been caught in a catch-22 situation.
Absolutely, it's a catch-22 situation because this organization was, I would say, it was supported by them, it was maintained by them. You would recall in 2017, when there were 3,000 of them were protesting in Islamabad, it had a tacit approval or a support. In fact, they're trying to make one Frankenstein fight with another Frankenstein. In fact, number of Frankenstein that they have created for themselves over a period of time is going out of the control, and this is very evident. In fact, if you have heard, like the entire world heard, the Khadim who was very mysteriously, who died last December, he would even go to the extent of saying he nuclear bombed Satto. He was, in fact, he was so rhetoric in his dynamic, and the rhetorics had a stamp of Punjabi in that, and it reflects that support of the Punjabi population in this. In fact, this protest which is going on is from the Punjabi belt, and therefore it is going to be more, I would say, a hardcore and more difficult for Pakistan government, Pakistan Army, and Punjab Police of Pakistan to bear. I think this is exactly the creation of the Pakistan Army, which is biting them back at this moment. And the situation is getting out of their hand. If you look at the videos which have come from there, already they have banned the organization one. They have also banned they put the stoppages on the social media.
Right.
They banned the media also in these aspects. But in today's dynamic, all information will keep coming out of it because the dynamics of the social media is different. And apart from that, I think they had, the way they had supported this organization and brought them to this status, and they have suddenly stood as the biggest challenge against Pakistan at this moment.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh, for joining us on this broadcast and putting this into perspective. It certainly appears, at least if you simply go by the images that are coming across from Lahore, Pakistan is on the brink of a civil war.